Okay, so this is, like I said, this has been around for 15 years, and it was first implemented for the UNESCO Global Digital Ambassador Program. Back then, there was only 8 SDG or SDK, or the 8 priorities of the problem of the planet. And my job was to come up with as a technology director, was to come up with a program to help these guys to use and they were like selected out of like 200 schools globally, and they were finalized down to the top 20, digital art or ICT program. And then those kids were given to me to develop a program that will enable them to apply their technology skills. So they came pretty much equipped. And this is like 2003. So, so the job is to come up with it. So we made a meta framework, and at the meta framework, we looked at the person and see where they're connected at, because their dynamics of who they are and how they connect. Most of us are connected at the nation level because of our academic, our education. So we think, nation solving problem, but the real dynamics is at the self. We come to realize that social entrepreneur or any kind of social development is at the personal level. If you're not balanced there and you got some emotional quirks, you won't be able to scale. Okay, and then from there, even, you can check your dynamics with, are you connected to your family? Are you close with your family? You have good relationship with your family? Do you work in your own community? I mean, are you actually working that, in your clan or your tribe, or social entrepreneurship or social or systemic development? It's just an idea for you. Okay, so that gives us a really quick ability to qualify the person based on their dynamics. Okay, we know. Okay, you say you want to save the world, but you haven't called your mothers in 3 or 6 months. Okay, most likely, like I said, these are very simple connection and relationship. And this is a very Asian way, this is, very ancient Asian way. Like, hey, if you don't love your own parents, what make you think you're gonna love me, The second part of it is we develop, the self in the center of their aesthetic, which is all their sensory. And then they connect it to their perceptual, which is their memory, association, and preference, because that's how they make decision. So we identify all the social system question right away. So at the beginning, we teach 3 ways. One is questioning. I don't need to teach you anything. I just need you to answer a bunch of questions. Once you answer a bunch of questions, I kind of know what you know and what you don't know. So the dynamic is not like you're coming to me and I don't know who you are. I know if you're already connected at the personal level. I know if you're connected at the social or cultural level. What do you think of land use? What do you think of settlement? You're the Sioux kind of person, where everything is lawsuit. Are you tailored to your enclosure? And even how you celebrate, paying attention to how one celebrates shows them their highest echelon, their highest ability to enjoy life. So we see all these dynamics, and then also their connection to nature, because that's a natural ecosystem. They can name 5 logo and 5 brand, but they can't name 5 trees that's in their backyard. So how could they understand ecosystem? And that means we have to teach it. That means we have to qualify, when technically they are not that they're not capable. Like I said, they would have to be geared or trained or educated. Third, then the third section is that we chose 5 interdisciplinary, that we feel that if you have these interdisciplinary, we can enable you with the social system, ecosystem design thinking. Okay, and it doesn't matter where you're at on it. It'll allow us to connect with you on that. And one is the creative arts. It's not because you can play music or you can dance or you're a great painter. No, it's your ability to respond one medium with another. Okay, we look for ways like, hey, if you hear song, can you dance? If you can dance, can you draw the energy to that dance even? You know, can you tell me red number 5 is my dance? You know, because why? You have the ability to translate. And the soft skill, you know, there's a lot of levels of soft skill development for us, but the main soft skill development for us is the ability to respond and translate. You know, you're telling me one thing that's not what I want, and my ability is to nurture what you want into seeing what I need and be able to come back to you with you to fulfill what you want. And only the arts, the soft skills of the arts can show that, okay? Then we move to new media. New media takes it up to the next notch because now we're dealing with really multiple intelligence, music, art, animation, photography, video, coding, programming, you know, their ability. If it's digital, I can mold it. You know, I can do whatever I need to do with it, okay? And also, we use a lot of branding exercise to teach them about self-branding. So that way also, when we teach, we don't teach them self-branding for the social entrepreneurship. We teach them, we don't teach social entrepreneurship branding. We teach them self-branding. And then they can use that self-branding and extend their self-branding into their social service or social enterprise project. Then it's much clearer and easier. Because if they're not doing what they love and they're projecting this idea of what they want to do, but technically that's not who they are, you know, at the self-branding level, then a lot of times, like I said, that mix mash is very complicated and it's not as dynamic. Same with permaculture. We teach you permaculture. We teach you quick processes to how to grow food. Because that's how ecosystem work, man. I'm going to teach you the fastest way how this works. And technically, it takes air, water, soil, and sun, okay? Social system and social project is the same. You must know your air, water, you know, your clean water, your good soil, and your sun, and your seedling. Same with that idea. You need to go out there, you need to know what it is, and we allude that into permaculture, so that way they're really connected at the environmental, ecosystem, biodiversity thinking. Then we teach them action learning, which is the ability to do action research. More importantly, everything that they learn, they are actually action research that knowledge and be able to reshare it back to the group. So the three of us have 3 different action research. At the end of the week, I can share to you what my action research, and technically we will learn 3 different skills. If those 3 different skills are 3 different dynamics of what we need for this collective to get it like regenerating, because now we have an ecosystem, then we're ready to go. Otherwise, we're missing some piece and we say, hey, we need these pieces. Well, whatever pieces they do, we've been doing it for 15 years. I'm sure we got all those pieces and all the content of all those action research from other students and other social. So we say, here, look at this, you know, because now we're developing a knowledge environment. So like I said, soon we're out of a job because why? We don't need to do it. You do it. We teach you how to do it. We give you this thing and you figure it out on your own. And the next thing you know, you're part of this knowledge environment and you have access to everything that's out there, and as well as the network. And then the last part, which is the hardest for us, and we have changed it from disciplinary arts such as martial art, yoga, qigong, some physical activity. We have shifted towards motivational art for the last 3 years, but it just came back because we just partnered up with a special armed force of the military called the 1st Earth Battalion, where they are technically an armed force. Have you heard about this?
You mentioned it to me last time, remember, the staring at goats.
Yeah, and I still laugh about it because I still don't believe it, but now I'm posting video because they're letting me document and post it, you know, and these are guys that train 210,000, you know, armed forces a year in how to survive in combat. And not just survival, but ability to kill, to save their life, to whatever. They, you know, give them a cup of water and and they'll survive themselves. Well, now they want to extend the second battalion, and they wanted to give them social entrepreneur skills, which is super cool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like, really, you want to let a bunch of like, he's like, yep, back in the 70s, I was like a baby killer, and I have no, and I, that's what I did in Vietnam, and that's what I was trained to do. But now it's a whole new world, and we need to look at new ways to build super soldiers, that they need to, come into community and heal the community and protect the community, that guns and bullets may not be as important anymore.
Yeah, sorry, I just in aware of time. Where I see we can collaborate, and I think this is a fantastic first introduction, is our community is like a soil, right? Where we can grow crops, we can grow flower. So this will be something interesting to experiment on community. I'm not sure who are you targeting, like what's your demographic of students. I think some of the people would definitely love to learn more systematic thinking and ecosystem thinking. So I'm not sure who are you targeting, but is that possible for some of the people in our community to join the program? And as part of Knowledge Partner, we can also contribute, right? How do you build a community in this program? So we might just be one of these little dots in your whole, bigger picture on how to experiment yourself as a community builders, right? And to apply the knowledge of systematic thinking onto building a real community and make it work. So yeah, my question are two, right? One is like, who are you targeting? And second, do you see the possibility of our community to come in as part of the program and learn and, apply?
Well, I'm not targeting at any community unless you piggyback in some of our project and be implementation partner to be able to implement in the Burning Man family, or to look at some of the university level, higher education level partners with all the different research and development group that we're going to be collaborating with. So, you can help us implement into there, which is an ongoing. And
you also work with quite a bunch of universities, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. It's, you can integrate right into the university. You can integrate right into the Burning Man. You can the CMEO stuff. It's the CMEO stuff is they have their own infrastructure and own implementation. Also, the other one we can gear off is the first. The first Earth Battalion, and kind of like. Do a pilot for them, but then you're gonna need some. I know Roy's like, Roy, don't laugh. I see it in you, man. I see this in you, Roy. Okay, you're like a super soldier from my experience working with the Orient, man. Don't pretend like you're not. Okay, all right. I know you're trying to be sensitive in front of Jessie, but I seen the way you move, man. You're like a super soldier, That's one area that we can go into because it's still quite small until we prepare this case study to 200 something Marines, and so we can handpick our own super soldiers, civilian super soldiers, and to play with the program. We can also look at the only downfall of that, like I said, you're going to be dealing around, with a bunch of, warriors, they're a little bit different than, your bleeding heart social entrepreneurs, they're a little bit.
Yeah, well, they definitely have a lot to bring on the table.
Yeah.
And to say the least, they can protect, right, the community as, just quite literally. Yeah, that's great. I think we can pretty much wrap up this call by, we can share this this flyer. So I will also share with the team, right? Our team might have more idea on how we can play part of this. But I think interesting is to kind of always keep on updating each other on like knowledge that we have gained from our cases as we also progress and have more students and have more community builders. We will also have this very dynamic kind of like learning model, right? Like how do they learn the best to become community builders? And for you, is how do they learn the best to kind of be this like fantastic warriors, right? So I would love to kind of keep in touch and always update each other on what we have learned, right? How do we build a model that people can learn as more whole person instead of just like putting the knowledge down to the desk. So.
Do you have more information like the stuff you just sent us, Haidai, the one which is sharing a screen with? Can you send us or send me the link?
There is a total of 3 slides that you need to look at, and they're somewhat self-explanatory. I think it's just, especially if your experience. One is this is at the curriculum level. We have one is at the personal dynamic level. And then there's one that is at the ecosystem level.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see snapshot of me, how do I integrate into my community, and then the bigger whole. So I can send those to you guys. So
that would be fantastic. Yeah.
Mainly, do you have anything pressing coming up anytime soon?
We're just gonna have lots of events coming up, and at our community level, we are kind of like getting more, like empowering more volunteers to take a lead on kind of creating the new programs, new dynamics of the community. So I wouldn't say there's a like milestone, something's coming up, but we always is an ongoing process of engaging stakeholders, engaging volunteers.
So there is no set like, okay, this fall you got, because for us, at the end of this month, I gotta look at some hard date to launch this prototype for,
okay.
Like technically this is my month off because I'm just doing lecturing, but right before the holidays for the university, we gear up program because, you know, it's a great time to do outreach to community, especially during Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a wonderful time to be, you know, connecting to your community.
Yeah, let me know. Maybe I can also help with spreading some word here. But if Hong Kong is part of your, you know, under your radar, then we're happy to spread a word and to see if anyone's coming. We actually are quite connected with universities. So maybe there will be something interesting for them to get.
So your contact is through universities?
We have lots of university contacts in Hong Kong, but Hong Kong is small, right? We have 8 universities at best.
Yeah, so I work at the CMEO level and the APCOR level, which is Pan-Pacific, and FELIC level, which is, you know, governmental organization. So if you're, like I said, I think you're going to be really good for us. And if you want to be really regenerative, is to bring a core team together to be an implementation partner, and then in the process, you know, we'll be more than happy to exchange or integrate some of your stuff. I mean, when people come to us, they already know our framework, and we've been around for a long time. So they're not going to want us to detour too much from the framework, because at the end, my promise to these people is outcome. My promise to them is like, hey, your social entrepreneurship program should be able to get funding. It should be incubated. You know, and so if I don't meet those kind of outcome, I can't charge that kind of money, or I cannot offer that kind of solution. You know,
well, you know what, Panda, I think if we have success cases with the program, we would love to, you know, be an implementation partner, and can also adapt it a little bit more how to contextualize it in Hong Kong or here in the Bay Area. But I think we need to first have success stories to tell, right? And yeah, I think that's the first thing our partner will be looking into.
Okay. No, like I said, we have the client. I just can't take it on, especially if I'm taking on this first battalion project. That's 210,000 Marine every year. So
yeah, they're gonna keep you busy for a while.
Yeah, so for me, if we can help regenerate in other areas, then Also add me on Facebook. If you spend 5-10 minutes reading down my Facebook post, I promise not to post food or anything. Maybe a couple of visual poem in there, some expression art, but it's all about regenerative development and partnership and conferences and keynotes and presentations that I'm at. So it might be good for you to have your team.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You want to put your Facebook link on in the group chat here?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's see how I do this. So let me stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Haidai, are you around Asia these days, or you also come back to Bay Area sometimes?
Well, I'm usually a lot of my technology is in the Bay Area because I do a lot of work. You know, the work that I'm doing right now is migrating everything to an interface for regenerative technology. Like, how do we do information flow that can be integrated into a social emotional learning matrix? And I'll send you the presentation for that.
Okay, sure.
See,
I'm also talking to education, kind of a director of education center at California. Mm-hmm. So he does lots of global education and really looking into programs that expand creativity aspect of it. So I'm gonna talk to him next month. He's like super busy person. Invited him to be our speaker, but I think it will be interesting for him to hear this idea as well.
Yeah, like I said, leverage on us. You know, we're a regenerative organization, and I'm not attached. We got WOW Philippines, WOW Vietnam. We're working on WOW Singapore right now. So if you can leverage whatever we're doing, so that as a partner to get you through doors, like right now, like, I mean, if you see some of the presentation that we're giving at the level that we're giving, people listen. People have to listen, because when it comes to regenerative development at the ecosystem and through social emotional learning, there's nobody like us. So it's easy to kick down doors for you. And if I can help the organization like yourself kick down door and say, hey, WOW is our partner, then please don't hesitate. Nowadays, like I said, as collaborative network, the small kids got to hang out together. Because the corporate is eating us up. You know, everything is corporate based, and the NGOs are dying at the wayside because we believe that we need to own it. That's why we named it WOW. So you can call it, as long as you call it WOW, you call it WOW whatever you want to call it. You know, you can then, once you have the WOW part of it, please regenerate whatever it is that you need to regenerate to get us in the door, and then do the work. You know, for us is
also another thing is, Haidai, we would love to invite you to be one of our potential speaker. I think we will have again another topic on education, and regenerative thinking is definitely something thought-provoking, and I feel like that's the best way also to keep attraction going. And now it's in the Bay Area and also in APAC. So maybe there will be something interesting.
You say APEC or APAC?
Yeah, mainly Hong Kong, but we also have people like spread out.
And at APAC, they were one of my first partner, you know. But back then, like I said, they weren't looking for a regenerative system. They want to know what regenerative system are, but they have their own regenerative system that's unsustainable. You know? Same with government. But nowadays, governmental groups are realizing that, we know that's unsustainable. And if we don't sustain it, we're going to be out of control. This is where, you know, whoever NEO is on your side need to go into the system, because we need to control the Smiths. You know, it's like they're going rampant. You know, they're duplicating themselves, and, you know, at all costs. And this is what the imbalance is in our planet right now. So, okay, I would love to do that, but like I said, we would need to be more in a partnership, because otherwise, like I said, I'm a demo dolly. I get asked demo dolly all the time, and I turned down the CMEO secretariat talking on youth employability, okay, which has been my passion for a long time, to inspire them. But nowadays, I think it's a crock of shit. The kids are up against the freaking wall, and there is nothing in the educational system that has proven for them to get jobs. And because why? The skills that we need to develop with AI and robotics are coming up. We're not equipped to train, you know, social emotional learning and a creative autonomy skill inside the educational system.
Yeah, sure. We'll definitely explore first the partnership side of the thing, and then to kind of also prove that we are serious about what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a partnership.
Our stop here, so sorry. Yeah. But let's keep the conversation going, and we're Facebook friends now if you accept my invitation. Okay. So we can definitely talk more there. I'll also send you more about our community and upcoming events.
Yeah, I went through your web. What I would love to see more is the full module outline. So then that way I can quickly mark it up for you. Okay, yeah, we can use this. Yes, this is good. Then it's easy for us when we do a partner. You can flow into the different knowledge partnership or knowledge area. Then we can move pretty quickly. You know.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good to us.
If you can share with me all the modules, and let me see what else. I think that's it. I think it's very good to meet you, and I love the way you move, which is quickly. You know, I hate pulling teeth nowadays because, like I said, the problem is right here in front of us. Just roll up the sleeve and let's get things done. You know, rather than getting in all this the semantics of what it is and never doing the work. You know?
Yeah, that's the point. Thank you so much, Roy, for connecting us. Staying here with us. And thanks a lot, Heidi. It was a really great pleasure. And I would love to meet you if you come to the Bay Area.
Yeah, I was thinking of coming in December. So let's hope that all that is